right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Hello and welcome into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host tonight, Cassidy Wood. And man, we have a Game 7 of the World Series going on right now as we speak. That's still going on. That is so electric. The Blue Jays looking like they might potentially pull out this win. They were up the majority of this game 3-0. And then the Dodgers started battling back a little bit. The Blue Jays able to get out of a jam, and then turned around and scored another run. So I think they're up still right now 4-2, but I'm joined alongside Jason Mackey tonight. And Jace, going into this World Series, I really did not think it would go 7 games. I hate to admit it, but I feel like, the Dodgers have such high expectations. They're have the highest paid roster in the league, all of these things. We've heard about them all season long. So I just really thought, the expectations were so high, and going into this World Series, maybe 5, maybe 6, but to have a Game 7, it's been electric, and this Blue Jays team has been so fun to watch.
It really has, Cassidy, and we're all so lucky to have this World Series play out the way it has. It's been so much fun. I'm glad it got to a Game 7. It would have been a shame if it ended last night. And I agree with you on the Blue Jays. They've been really exciting. I look at them from a Pirates perspective, and no, the Pirates aren't going to spend anywhere near what the Blue Jays spend, and the Blue Jays have some high-end players that the Pirates do not have, but the Blue Jays have a clear identity on offense that I think the Pirates can take a lesson from. Putting the ball in play, minimizing strikeouts. Those are things that are within the Pirates' wheelhouse. And they have a very good pitching staff. They're opportunistic. They know what they are. If the Blue Jays are able to, pull this one out, we still have 2 innings to go. So I don't want to count any chickens before they hatch or whatever the cliche is. But, I think it'll be a lesson to the Pirates that style of play does play.
Yeah, very exciting. We'll definitely keep tabs on the game throughout Sports Call here and give you guys a couple updates. Well, it was Saturday, so we had a lot of college football to watch today. First and foremost, I just want to get it out of the way. It's so crazy, Jason, this fall that Penn State is having. I truly don't think I've seen anything like it to start the season where they were at, ranked number 2 in the country with similar to the Dodgers, very high expectations. I mean, last season, they made a deep run in the playoffs. I think it was expected, to see them do that again this year. And then everything happened. Drew Aller gets injured. James Franklin gets fired. This is the second game today with the interim head coach, Terry Smith, and they just got blown out by Ohio State. This team.
Penn State, Ohio State at the Horseshoe. And now it's largely meaningless. Ohio State rolls through Penn State like they were, Northwestern or something like that. And Penn State's got a lot of work on its hands. Brian Hartline, the offensive coordinator for Ohio State, though, is somebody I'd really like Penn State to take a look at in the head coaching search. I have a feeling, as much as we might locally want to see Terry Smith get the job, I don't think he's going to. So I got to turn the page to the coaching search at this point because there's not a lot of good stories or good vibes on the field.
Yeah, definitely. And the coaching search right now, and especially after this season ends, it's going to be so interesting to watch. So many attractive openings and more to come probably after the end of this season. And it'll be interesting to see where everybody falls because obviously James Franklin, I think, is going to end up getting hired somewhere else at a premier program. I heard Virginia Tech thrown out there. But it'll be interesting to watch where all of this, obviously Brian Kelly too, now looking for a home potentially. So just a lot of mixing up going on. So we'll see how that rolls out. But C.J. Donaldson got another touchdown today for Ohio State, formerly a WVU Mountaineer. And WVU upset the number 22 ranked team today. That was impressive by them. And then the Pitt Panthers. They are on a tear right now. A quarterback switch, just that one change Narduzzi made, and it feels like this is an entirely new team.
Yeah, it really does. And there's a lot of good feelings around the Panthers. I know today's game was not the cleanest game they could have played. Mason Heichel, what did he have? 2?
Miami today, by the way, lost in overtime to SMU, which is very interesting because Miami just has kind of felt like a juggernaut, especially through this conference play. But they did lose today. So it kind of mixes it up even more. I mean, right now, Pitt technically in conference play, they're sitting at number 3 right now. So, it'll be a gauntlet here at the end. But I don't know. I could kind of see them going 2-1 maybe in these final 3 if they can, pull it all together. And Mason still keeps playing as free as he has been. I mean, these games too, these opponents, I feel like, he's been stressed a little bit, but, maybe not so much, and he just seems to be playing so free out there, man, like throwing it, and almost Pat Mahomes-esque,
Easy now.
I know.
Easy.
Little crazy, but
in the bye week comes at a good time too, right? Like, they're really banged up, their defense especially. Des Reed didn't contribute today. I mean, you would hope to get Des Reed back for the Notre Dame game. He's obviously a difference maker for them. You got Kyle Lewis back today, Rasheem Biles, maybe after the bye week, whatever. But they need some time off. They need to regroup. It's a tough 3-game set, but Notre Dame struggled early on today against Boston College. Boston College, you saw what Pitt did against them. I mean, not an elite team there. I don't want to say these teams are beatable, but they're not juggernauts that Pitt can't touch. If Pitt has a passing offense the way it has with Mason Heichel, it's been very, very impressive. They could score with anybody. So I am curious to see what Pitt can do over these last 3 for sure.
Yeah, a lot of eyes will be on the Pitt Panthers for this final stretch. Guys, we're going to head to our first break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. This is your Xfinity tweet of the night from the Steelers legends. There they are, Big Ben, Coach Cowher, all the guys. So tonight, guys, here in Pittsburgh, we celebrated the 2005 Super Bowl team who made history, went on the road to win those 3 consecutive playoff games and take down the Seahawks in that Super Bowl. And I mean, Jason, what an incredible run to have to go to 3 away games throughout the playoffs in order to win. And they did just that. And a big reason for those wins was that Steel Curtain defense. And man, I just... Hopefully there's some good juju there tonight that we can maybe transfer over to tomorrow when they welcome in the #1 offense in the league, and hopefully it transfers a little bit. But I miss watching that. I miss watching Troy and Joey Porter and all those guys.
Well, forget the juju. Can any of them still play?
Yeah, right. Can you guys suit up for us?
There are a few openings. I've watched this team. You've watched this team. Anybody who can still run around a little bit, get them some shoulder pads and a helmet, and let's see what happens. Couldn't be much worse.
Yeah. Speaking of, so a lot of injuries, guys. Going into tomorrow's game, we only have 2 healthy safeties as of right now. It's Juan Thornhill and Kyle Duggar, the new guy that we got from the Patriots. Wanted to make sure it was him. But yeah, so Deshaun Elliott obviously out on IR, and then Jabril Peppers and Chuck Clark are both not going to be able to play due to either injury or illness. And it's really scary, Mackie, when you're welcoming in such a high-powered offense that is led by 2 elite pass catchers, one of which is a guy in the middle, the tight end, Tyler Warren. Like, who's going to cover that guy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have a good answer for you. I mean, that was Deshaun Elliott in the Steelers' former defense, and they still struggled with it. And now all of a sudden you're going to take Deshaun Elliott out. You might put Kyle Duggar there, and he's a box safety. Might help stopping the run a little bit. But covering the tight end, Tyler Warren has 492 yards. That's a lot. That's the most among tight ends in the NFL. He's an effective pass catcher. We saw him at Penn State. And if it's not him, they also spread the ball around to like 3, 4, 5 other guys. It's very scary. I don't think this game's going to be particularly close, Cassidy, and I'd like to think that Cam Hayward, what he was telling Richie Walsh about the defense getting right and staying with it, that all of that will work out beautifully. I just don't see how scheme-wise that's going to go down.
Yeah, I think really the saving grace is, they do have 3 solid pass rushers in TJ Watt and, Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig. And what's so interesting to me is against that Browns game, it felt like they were kind of packaging those 3 guys together quite a bit. And the defense had a day against Dylan Gabriel and that offense. I mean, it looked elite. And then, the next game against the Bengals, Nick gets limited. He got like 29 snaps. And then against the Packers, Packers. I mean, I just remember watching him on the sideline, and he was just standing there like watching the Packers just move down the field. And I was like, why is this guy not in the game? And he had even less snaps against the Packers, like 24, I think. So I just don't understand, if you saw something work so well against a team, why not just keep doing that? Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it, or whatever that saying is. Like, you know, it's just amazing to me. And also, too, we heard a lot in before the season started and stuff that TJ Watt would be moving around a lot more. And TJ even told us, he's like, yeah, I've been practicing. I'm ready to do it. I feel comfortable doing it. And we really haven't seen him move around or flip sides at all really this season either. So it's just really interesting how they're kind of what their plans are for the pass rush right now.
Yeah, interesting might be relative in that context. But this Steelers defense has been horrible at making adjustments, and it's been frustrating to watch. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, the way they were carving up the Steelers, and the Steelers didn't do anything scheme-wise to adjust how they're covering them. Second half against Green Bay, they actually played a decent first half, and then the second half comes out, and Green Bay makes adjustments, and the Steelers make no adjustments whatsoever. So I think the difference on Sunday, you were talking about Dylan Gabriel, Daniel Jones is playing at a much higher level. Right. The Indianapolis Colts have a far better running game in Jonathan Taylor, who's playing as well as anybody. The offensive line is very, very good. Yes, you'd like to see the Steelers adjust. You'd like to see them get Nick Herbie on the field. I don't understand why they haven't gone with the 3 outside linebacker sets that have been pretty effective. But once again, if we're looking at it through the context of a failure to adjust, that it's all the same stuff. And the Steelers are just, I don't know, they're magically thinking that because they're the Steelers, they're playing a game that things are going to get better, and I don't understand that line of thinking.
I also don't understand, like, I do think in the past we've seen Steelers teams able to kind of readjust at halftime and, you know, be able to fix mistakes. And it feels like this team, for whatever reason, they're not really able to battle adversity well. Like, if they get a no call or a bad call, it's almost like their emotions kind of take over and they're not able to go back and combat it by just, like, you know, playing effectively and rerouting, making the balance kind of swing back in their favor. They haven't really been able to do that. I feel like they get caught up in these moments, which is kind of shocking to see from such a veteran roster.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, a roster and a team, we're talking a lot about the defense, right? Yeah. I mean, this is a veteran defense. This is the highest paid defense in the NFL, I think, for 4 years running. And they're not able to come out of it. They're not able to show the necessary fight. I don't think it's a lack of effort. I don't think it's the type of thing where they don't care. I understand that, but it doesn't matter if you try hard. That's not good enough. They're not executing. They're not responding. It's concerning for me, Cassidy, that the Steelers this offseason went out and got Jalen Ramsey. They aligned pieces. They spent a lot of money on Darius Slay, at least relatively speaking. They said, we're going to be able to go out and cover people. We're going to be able to function in the secondary. We're going to be elite there. And that has been a giant swing and miss. And if you have that much intent behind something, and Mike Tomlin was right there behind it, and you cannot pull that off, to me, that's pretty damning. It's not very good. And, I mean, we've also spent a lot of this week talking about who calls the defensive plays. Whose defense is this? What sort of identity that they have? And it's just too many crossed wires here. This defense there's no clear delineation between, you know, who's doing what, who's calling what. It's very confusing, and I think they're equally as confused on the defensive side too.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, TA was asked point blank, who's making the defensive calls? And he said, it's the same it's always been. I make the calls, but if Mike wants to make a call, he makes a call. So it's very crosswires is exactly how to describe it. All right, guys, we're going to head to our last break. Remember to, give us a call, 412-575-2600. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host, Cassidy Wood, joined alongside Jason Mackey. Big game tomorrow as the Steelers welcome in the Colts and the #1 offense into Acrisure, and a lot of missing pieces on the defensive side. We've talked a lot about that. As for the offense, Jace, I will say that's kind of the, you know, silver lining in this team. If there's anything Steelers fans can kind of hang their hat on right now, that's a positive thing. It does feel like this offense has glimmers of hope and glimmers of bright spots in it. It
has, Cassidy, and I've been largely impressed by Aaron Rodgers and the cohesiveness with Arthur Smith. I just don't think they have the horses to run with the Colts. Pardon the bad analogy there. Tomorrow, you're going to have to score 30-plus points, I think, with the shape of the Steelers' defense and how well the Colts can score. And I don't see it happening. I see this being a lopsided loss. But, I mean, if I'm the Steelers and I'm looking at this, the only chance you have to win the game is to air it out and to take advantage of a Colts secondary that has given up a decent amount of yards, especially in the passing game. I just, it's a really, really tough hill to climb.
Yeah, so going off of that, what is your score prediction?
I'm going 34-13. I'm saying they try. Maybe they keep it close in the first half, but much like Steelers games recently, it just gets away from them in the second half, and they can't cover Tyler Warren. That's going to be a problem. Yeah,
unfortunately, we've seen the Steelers defense give up 30 points a little too often this season, so I agree with you. I think it'll be right around there. Maybe the Steelers can keep it a little bit closer, but I think it'll be like 35-21. We'll go with that. Also, I wanted to shout out the Pens, the Penguins. Just such a hot start to the season. Jason, you and I talked a little bit about the Pens before, just a whole new coaching staff. No one really predicted this, and now they're doing so well.
They've been really good. Ben Kindle staying with the team. I love that. Tristan Jarry I don't believe I'm saying this, has actually been really good, and they should be playing him more, but it's been exciting.
Yeah, most definitely. Jason, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you guys for watching, and good luck. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.